So I'm kind of all over the smorgasbord. It kind of depends on who I'm hanging around with or how much I've drank. Um,
Fair.
sometimes, I'll bust out some Kesha or some Spice Girls or something. It just depends on the mood.
So I'm Kyle, guitar player for Whitmore.
I'm Rob. I'm the drummer from Whitmore.
Jared, bass player for Devil Down.
Gary, the vocalist for Devil Down.
I'm Oakley, the guitarist for Devil Down.
And I'm Mike. I smack the skins for Devil Down.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's kick things off. What are some of your guys' biggest influences as far as your band goes, and what are you each listening to these days?
That's a good question. For me, it's a lot of older stuff like Ozzy, Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth. That's generally what I listen to for influence, but recently it's been a lot more Cold Chamber now again, and some Korn, a lot of new metal stuff.
All right.
Respect.
Yeah. I know we all listen to like a lot of like little bit of everything. And like for me at least, like nowadays the stuff I've been listening to is like a lot of more like either modern like metalcore stuff or a lot of the more modern deathcore and death metal stuff that's been coming out. But like I'll listen to anything from like Pink Floyd to Post Malone and everything heavy and light in between.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. We're kind of the same way too.
The guys don't want me to answer this question. I listen to both kinds of music, both country and Western.
No.
When it comes down to me, I'm a really avid Seven Dust fan. I love Seven Dust. Great band. But I was raised by a couple of hippies, so I listened from everything to the Beatles to I can't stand Neil Young. I'm sorry, Dad. Yeah. But Metallica, big Pantera fan. I've recently got into Ice Nine Kills. Like those guys are dope. Like so I'm kind of all over the smorgasbord. It kind of depends on who I'm hanging around with or how much I've drank. Sometimes I'll bust out some Kesha or some Spice Girls or something. It just depends on the mood.
Hey, that's all right. You got to go with the flow. Speaking of Ice Nine Kills, I need to get a little bit more into them. I haven't been super familiar with a lot of their music, but I've been seeing a lot of their live shows popping up on social, and the theatrics that are involved with their shows are really cool. Like old Alice Cooper shows.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They got this. Cuts her face off in one of the songs, and like the prosthetics are just clean, and it looks crazy.
Nice. I unfortunately missed them when they came to play. Or was that the show that was canceled?
Well, that was the one that was canceled. Yeah.
But
I've had the opportunity to catch them a couple times, and they put on definitely like one of the best live shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Incredible. That band's awesome.
I just like the monster antics in it. Like it's great.
Yeah. That too. The music is also fucking top notch.
Yeah, definitely. I had the pleasure of seeing Alice Cooper live as like a young teenager, and I can see exactly how that's influenced everything that you see as far as like a high-end stage production these days, because he has this bit where he would chop his own head off with a guillotine and like all kinds of stuff that was just like, I don't even know how they pulled that stuff off, but it was just incredible.
Yeah, I just saw Alice for last year, and he's still doing that. Like, he's still got the guillotine. He's got like the giant zombie baby or whatever for $1 billion babies. Like, he's got all the stuff.
Yeah, it's at his age too. Still doing it is just nuts, and still finds a way to golf like 36 holes a day outside of that.
Yeah,
he's got more energy than I do.
You're damn right. Kyle and I tend to be on the same page with what we're listening to and what's kind of influenced us. Like As I Lay Dying, like Moss to Flames, Boundaries, Currents, you know, I got
boundaries.
started in with like Norma Jean and Nodes of Ranvier, which we got to play with both of those bands these last year. And then like like what I'm listening to varies from that to like Murder by Death, who I'm gonna go see at the Caverns in September, and then you know, like Emancipator and San Holo, and I'm all over the board. The only thing that I can't get behind is like the new hip hop and rap bullshit.
Yeah, mumble rap.
Pretty much all on that page right there.
Now, Jared, I don't think you got a chance to answer that question. What are you listening to these days?
He's the bassist. It's not important.
I'm glad that the tropes are all the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I range from Beatles to Primus to fucking Ice Nine Kills, another good one.
Mhm.
I've been on this band that we played with the other day, Until I Wake. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
The new upcoming band.
Don't forget your Kiss, brother.
Yeah, I can't forget Kiss. That's my top band right there.
About to say, yeah. Missing out the big one, man.
Yeah. I feel like Kiss is such a polarizing band. You're either obsessed with them or you can't stand them. There's no in between. The real
I've
question:
seen them twice.
do you like their disco? That's the real question.
No,
It's not the worst that they've done. I'll say that much. But yeah,
Dude, it's so good. It's catchy as hell.
yeah, like they definitely have worse songs out there.
Well, they have like 2 million songs. So
Look, I'd rather listen to Kiss's disco than like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, any of that.
Oh, you hurt my feelings there.
Look, I've worked in enough kitchens, can't stand it.
Guns N' Roses, I'll give you, but not the Crew. Vic Mars is such a hell of a guitarist. Like,
all right,
you gotta like him for that.
Respect their musical abilities, except for Vince Neil, because
God,
So
I think we all agree on that.
grills, hot
fucking
meat,
just
it thrills.
yeah,
homie can't even learn the lyrics anymore.
6 or 7 times, I think. And so that was a point of contention when I joined the band and Rob met my mom. She's just like, so I heard you don't like Motley Crue. What's wrong with you? And
so I turned to her and I said, I heard you like the Boston Red Sox. What's wrong with you?
it's adorable. Their connection's adorable.
She's a sweet lady. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. You're not going to probably watch this, but hi, Mom.
You're going to cut that part out.
Nah.
We'll see. We'll see. It'll be a test to see if she is watching. But yeah, you guys got any other bands you want to throw in there at all? Or we good on this one?
I think we're good.
And we haven't even started talking about Luke Bryan yet.
Stop it. No,
I'll stop.
right now.
I'll stop.
I'm trying to think.
I kind of like the bit. It's entertaining.
Oh no, it's fun.
Nice.
We're goofy.
I guess next question is going to end up being, what is the best show you've played so far, and what made it special?
Ooh.
We're about to play with Whitmore.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
For me, it was Drowning Pool a couple weeks ago.
Drowning Pool.
Drowning Pool was definitely
that was pretty cool.
One of the better ones for sure.
I think they were on the Punisher soundtrack. I saw your hat. That was a soundtrack that I listened to a ton back in the day. That was like 2002 or something crazy like that.
Step Up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Step Up. They had the music video at the end of the DVD too.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you. Not many people know that. That's great.
Long live Frank Castle.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to hear some other good shows you guys have played.
Until I Wake was a good show. That
was a good
cool
one.
I think
man,
I would say probably like our Psychroptic was pretty sick too.
Psychroptic
but I know
was good. Lot of different energies at that one.
We had like no stage room, but it was a good show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But like for me,
Go ahead, Gary.
No, but no, I think for me at least, it was probably like our first like formal show that we had for the fall, Reverb's fall like kickoff show, and
Yeah,
like
that
because for me, this is my first band ever, and that was our first we played at Mikey's uncle's house for one of their family gatherings just to kind of get our toes wet a little bit, and then we had that show, which oh God, how many people you guys think were there? At least
there's probably
over,
about 100 people for sure.
yeah, it was
For our
pretty
for our
packed
first
out.
like show, that about
They
100
were like the
people.
middle band, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did the 9 o'clock set. It was a
yeah.
packed house though, and for being our first show at the Reverb with a packed house, because we played with what, Siphon, or not necessarily Siphon, but Wildra,
Borealis was there.
Borealis, Dill Pickles were there too.
Borealis,
Shout out the Dill Pickles. If you don't know who
Bill
they
Pickles,
are,
hell yeah.
go
We're
check
friends.
them out. Those guys are awesome.
Haven't
yeah,
I've heard haven't played with them, but we're friends with all those other bands that you're listing off. They're great.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Us.
Dill Pickles are a little off the wall, but those guys, they're a great time and they're good musicians.
Aren't we all on From the Depths as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe
Yeah, I
so.
think so.
we are.
yeah,
So we got label buddies on our show.
Yeah, that worked out.
yes.
Yeah.
It was the date was kind of hard to throw together for a minute, and so I was like, well, let's just reach out to From the Depths and have them try to help us out. And sure enough, it was because of them that everything could start falling together. So
Mhm.
so this is
Yeah.
great.
I've noticed I was a little skeptical at first because my old band Mind Flight that I played in, we signed a similar contract with Curtain Call Records, and
Mhm.
it didn't really. It might have been because we didn't put that much into it, but the promotion didn't seem to be there. With From the Depths, every post we post on a show, they're right there.
On it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we try to
and it's
tag them in everything we post to, just to make sure, because I know their roster is huge. So
yeah.
you know, we don't want to get lost in the shuffle. But even before I started doing that consistently, they were right on top, and they're always just a message away, and that's really helpful.
Mhm.
So we're looking forward to working with them down the road with playing more out of town gigs and things like that.
Well, and for the $100 a year subscription thing, like that's not bad. Curtain Call
Not
was
at all. Yeah.
Curtain
Yeah.
Call was $1,200 for the year, and they didn't see. Now they did get us on a few festivals, which was cool. Like I got to open up for All That Remains because of those guys. But you know, From the Depth seems a lot more on top of it than Curtain Call.
Yeah, their dynamic is just really interesting, and the price point was ultimately, I think, what sold us on it, because it was just like, it's $25 a piece. Let's try it. If it sucks, we can. It's not that big of a deal, but honestly, come at the end of the year when we have to, we'll probably do it again. Just the exposure,
It's well worth it.
and they're trying really hard. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
and there's just not a lot of people that give a crap about people at our level. You know, it's hard.
Right.
Mhm.
So
No, that's what makes them awesome, is because they do focus on a lot of people on our kind of level, and that's nice. Not many places will do that. Like it's hard to get any kind of like an endorsement, you know, with anybody being at this level, even though we all deserve it as far as I'm concerned. But you know, without that kind of backing,
yeah.
you know, this definitely gives you that kind of backing for a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Saluda endorser, so my symbols are all Saludas. And
Okay.
like I love them to death. I just did a post the other day because I play really heavily that I wore my third China, because I emotional damage.
It's like his.
No, I just cracked my brand new Meanle.
Oh geez.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty mad about that.
I got a funny story when we get to
Well,
that
you
one.
should get on to Saluda because they have a lifetime edge warranty on their symbols.
Yeah.
And Rob redeemed that I don't know how many times since he got his kit set
4,
up.
5.
But it's and the term.
That's incredible to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their turnaround is like 10 business days. So like you put an order, they are making your cymbal. It's not, hey, we're going to pull a cymbal. We're actually making a cymbal. So, and it's like half an inch, it's free replacement. Over half an inch, but under an inch is like $35 replacement. And then anything over an inch, unfortunately, they won't take back. So my last China, which I'll get to, I've turned into a mini vented China. So that was pretty cool. But they also do like a cymbal trade-in program. So any of the cymbals that you have that you don't want, you can send those to them and they will take that off of the total bill.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they're solid and they will make a cymbal sound the way you want it to sound. So they're a solid company. I'm not use anyone but them.
Hopefully I'm gonna be checking those guys out.
Yeah. You got any other best shows in Jared or anybody else's opinion?
Dead Reckoning in Minneapolis was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That show was a lot of fun.
Dude, you guys are playing
awesome
out the gate. This is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of taken off a lot faster than we anticipated. We did the show. We did our first show for the fall kickoff, and then it wasn't necessarily stagnant, but we didn't plan on doing anything through the winter, which is kind of what we're doing now, because trying to play a show in the wintertime and get a crowd out is shitty.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had a couple shows lined up for the next year that we were waiting on. And then I think the next one we played was the Metal Manifesto, I want to say, in January at the KZUM. So we did that. And then all of a sudden it was show. And they were heavy hitters too. Each one of those bands, with the exception of a few, have a good following on Facebook and YouTube, and they're good.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. There's so many talented bands too, even ones you've never heard of, which is kind of why we wanted to do the interview stuff, is like, you know, just get everybody's names out there. It's like, shit, even if you haven't heard the music or don't hear it before the show, maybe we'll catch somebody just on us as people beforehand, you know? So that's dope. Congratulations, guys, because that doesn't happen for everybody like that. So that's great.
For sure.
Thank you. We've been lucky. This has been a very humbling experience, if you will. Super exciting. It's been terrifying. You know what I mean? But it is. This has been like the whole year has been one killer ass show.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, we had like Nodes of Ranvier, we had Norma Jean, Giddy, Orthodox, For the Fallen Dreams. Who else did we have? Earth Groans.
Yeah, we've just had this long list. We kept saying we needed to take time and write, and so we went through a transitional period for a little while where we had to stick with the material that we had for a good chunk of time, and we kept saying, you know, we need to take time to write. Well, only if we get this show offer, we can't refuse. We'll play, and then unfortunately, not to sound, you know, too heady about it, but like it was like, oh, I can't turn this down, I can't turn that down. And the next thing you know, we had a run where it was like we played like 8 shows in 9 weeks or something like that. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's like the last 3 months of our schedule here.
That's exactly what happened with us. We were talking about writing new material, but if a show come up, we weren't going to pass it, and that's how it ended up. We did, like you said, probably about 9 shows within 9 weeks of each other, and that was brutal. That's a brutal run there.
Yeah, we've just been like, all right, unless it's like an icon band, we have to take the time.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. We always want to say yes because we appreciate the opportunities, and it's never guaranteed, you know, whether you're doing great or not so great or whatever. But you know, we've all been there too, where it's like, you know, it's not working out. And so to be in this realm where it is working out is just really special. So
yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to take this next one just because my lovely cymbal story. So the next question that I have is, have you ever had equipment fail on stage, and how did you recover?
Oh yeah.
Got a few.
We got a couple.
We got
because,
stories.
we can start with
recently,
Beach House or
my
yeah.
Bagheera
Yeah.
Infinium has been having some technical difficulties. I don't know what's causing it, but it'll start cutting out, and it's acting like the tubes are like shot in the back. So in the middle of a song, it'll start dying down, and I gotta shut that fucker off for 2 seconds and turn it back on, and it'll last for one song and start doing it again. I gotta shut it off and turn it back on.
Ooh.
I've had to do that, but this has only been happening at Maloney, so I think it's a power draw issue.
It sounds about right. And I don't know, we got lucky at Maloney's we just played there for the first time at the beginning of last month, or this month. It's August still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that being an issue. That would scare the hell out of me.
Oh, it's crappy. And like originally we were all thinking, because the last couple shows at Maloney's have been really humid, and our practice space is actually really cold. So when you take it out, you get a lot of moisture real fast.
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the shows, both of our amps quit like at the same time and then popped back on. I don't know what it was. One of the Maloney shows.
That's gotta be
power draw.
That's definitely gotta be power. You guys are just rocking.
Was like for like a minute and then popped back
Yeah.
on in the middle of the song.
Well, they've got a good setup there, but I don't think they have the proper power to run everything that he's running. Because I know he's got a couple 3 Crown amps and all that big ass light screen that they got. Draws a shitload of power, even for being LED.
They do. That thing could use its own breaker probably, but it's all probably running out of one house breaker. And they got the bar, they got the house lights, they got the soundboard, everything going through that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So but shout out to Maloney's. We love you guys.
Oh yeah.
That venue's awesome.
They're a fun venue
as well.
They are. They were fun.
So a lovely issue that I had was we played a CD release show with our buddies in Reign of Eris, and my China cymbal, as I told you earlier, this is like my 3rd China that I've gone through. At the beginning of the show, it was fine. It was like a little warpy, like it gets, but I start playing, and we're playing so heavy, so hard, like we're feeling that room's energy. And by the end of the set, my China had a 3-inch crack in it.
Ooh, makes me sad.
Yeah.
3 of us were there at that show. We remember the energy. You guys smoked everybody out too.
Oh, you damn right.
We appreciate it.
We love you guys.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean that just like, I looked at my China after that, and I'm like, shit, we got a show in like 2 weeks. So sure enough, like, I'm like on the phone with Saluda. I'm like, look, I need this taken care of. Da 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 da. Can you do anything? And they're like, well, that's over the threshold. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm buying a new China. Send it to me as soon as you can. They're like, this is like your 3rd one. And I'm like, I know. They're like, do you want like a heavier alloy or something? And I'm like, yeah, probably. That'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
So sure enough, they sent me one that's heavier and still has like great, it's still bright. It still has like the great wash to it, but like this thing is heavy. Like
heavy. It melts faces.
You're like a 13-year-old boy again when your balls drop.
No, my new China, it's like one of those ozone ones through Menal, so it has the holes in it.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law, she was at one of our shows, and she looks at my wife and goes, so what's up with the Swiss cheese symbol? And I'm like, it's awesome. That's what's up with it.
That's what it is.
And now I want a sandwich.
Yes.
But that's one of the best Chinas I've ever played. I love that thing. It's deep. It's vibrant. It's heavy.
Any other fun equipment failure stories from the rest of you?
So not with this band, but when I was younger, I played in a band called Diamond Plate with Ryan Hubbard and Dan Lemons, and I broke a stick halfway through, and it managed to go up and hit me right in between the eyes, and I started bleeding. But people felt that was metal other than me, so I just kept playing.
No,
That's
I tend to go through sticks like babies go through diapers.
Yeah. I like these ProMark sticks that are they used to be just called Japanese oak, but now they're like Hirashaki or something like that oak. Those buggers are strong.
I know our show at Beach House had some fun technical difficulties too.
That sucked.
No monitors.
Yeah, the monitors were rough. I know at least people in the crowd were telling us that like we were
My
all
amp
like
died.
fading in and out. Yeah, they had to run his
brand new
bass
amp.
through the
oh man, good old equipment, man. We love it. I was telling some stories in a couple of the other interviews, and do I have any that I haven't told yet?
I don't know all your stories.
Good. At least they're not that memorable, so that's good.
God damn it.
Well, there was one where I had actually forgotten my guitar pedal in the back of Rob's car, and he had parked 2 blocks away in downtown Lincoln. So I'm running around downtown Lincoln trying to find his car and get it back in time. And thankfully I was able to hustle enough to get it back. But like I was dying. I don't run. That is the only time I run. And I had other people in downtown scared. They're like, if that guy looks like that and he's running, then I don't know, Godzilla may not be too far behind, but
weren't you wearing a white tank top?
I was wearing a white tank top and I was worried it was going to turn into a wet t-shirt.
Oh no.
But thankfully I got back to the venue and I get everything hooked up, and the sound guy's like, it's okay, you got like 7 minutes. I was like, I only need a few, so thank God. That chilled me out quite a bit. So I was just worried I was going to end up time again. And
I watched him running back and I was like, is that one of the ghosts from Mario?
Yeah. Oh, I went probably from like the reddest red to the palest pale. I was toast, and somehow still played the gig after that. But it thankfully the show itself went really, really well. So it didn't end up.
Those are the shows that define you.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said those are the shows that define you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. I was just glad I had my best running shoes on that day. I must have subconsciously known something. So thankfully I was buttoned up in that department.
Yeah, they were like the 6-inch pumps.
and looking fabulous while doing it too.
Fuck yes.
You don't get these calves without a little extra work, you know?
Yeah.
That was the sexiest marshmallow I've seen.
God damn it.
Oh,
All right, next question. So outside of equipment and everything we've talked about so far, what are some good stories from your guys' show playing days? Can be band related or travel related, anything like that.
You know, when we went to Minneapolis, that whole trip was fun. You know, it was bros.
Yeah.
You know, 6 hours there, 6 hours back, or whatever it was. And I tell you what, that is probably one of my best memories with this band. That's the first time that it was just us. And
Yeah.
we melted some faces, we made some new friends. Oakley passed out first.
Yeah.
After
I thought
They all
he
said
was
the
sick.
old man was gonna do it, but he did.
yeah.
He woke up
Oh,
with
he's
dicks
like a
all over his
vampire.
face.
No, I didn't.
were they
I'll
real
wake up with
dicks or
that.
were they Sharpies?
That's our secret.
Good. Great answer.
And now I'm imagining all the possibilities.
But no, that's probably in my opinion my fondest memory. You know, at least at this moment. I mean, there's so many good ones, but that one in particular sticks out for me.
Yeah.
That one was a good one. Drowning Pool for me is probably still favorite memory right now with the band. I was going through a lot at the time, and that Drowning Pool has always been a band that's been there for me since I was
Yes.
12. So to be there with those guys and the whole energy of the night with a lot of other things that went on, it was a great night. It was a night that I needed and helped me kind of come back to a peace that I needed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And that was
And it was
that was-
fucking Drowning Pool.
yeah.
Fucking Drowning Pool.
And
Are you hugging a
when it,
Oh
No.
no. So I got this big ass jug that keeps water cold for like 6 days.
Oh, okay.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
I can go get some milk if it would liven it up.
Shut up.
Oh boy.
Black targets. I don't care.
I think this is going well, but if you need to zhuzh it up, don't let me see you.
All right. I'll let you guys know.
All right, more stories. I want more stories. If there are.
Kind of back
I'd
on
rather-
drowning pool. We
Yeah.
we fucked up on this one. We didn't clarify the starting time. We thought we had an hour after doors, and it was only a half an hour. And I had just so
fucking
happened
run
to
into that stage.
Oh man, because I had just so happened to be like 3 minutes until we were or maybe 5 minutes until we were actually supposed to play. I was like, oh, I should probably write up the set list before it's last minute. And and I was setting mine Mikey's down, and I see the sound guy just standing at the booth, like he's like, I'm ready to go. And I'm just like, I go and ask him, like, are we playing now? Or he's like, yeah, you guys are playing now. And I'm like, fuck. And so sprint to the bar, find Mikey, Jared, and they tell me Oakley's outside, and I fucking bust out the back door, just screaming his name, trying to just get his attention because I couldn't see where he was at.
It was funnier than fuck watching you run up to me at that bar. I was like, dude, now. And I'm like, what do you mean now? He goes, we go.
We go now. I don't care what you're doing. We go now.
I just ordered food.
That reminds me of Lincoln when I shouted Kong and you just came through the fucking door.
That was priceless. That was priceless. Kong!
Yeah,
I'm here.
Playing with Scold. That one was cool too. Yeah. Another one where we were running just a hair late, but it was all good. Start on time, end on time.
Nice.
And
it makes for good stories, so you're good to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So next we're gonna ask, what makes a good crowd to play to?
Makes a good
one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
What's a good crowd to play to?
Yeah.
What makes it for you unique for you that you get out of it? That you're just like, when you leave, you're just feeling great about it.
When the crowd is actually interactive.
Yeah. Or honestly, when they're there to honestly just be there and have a good time and not just going close-minded or going and wanting to just kind of see just going and having a good time and enjoying what everybody puts on.
Mm-hmm. Good call.
Not just there for the touring band, or because we had a few of those where like we had the touring band or whatever, and everybody was just there for them. Like, thanks for coming early, but move.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had some of our best crowds not be the most full, but like the fact that they were really into it makes all the difference, you know, because you're writing songs in a basement about some of the worst days of your life and you don't think anybody's going to care about it anyways. And then you bring it out into the world and you find out that one, it's incredibly relatable, but two, gives some people something out of it too. So yeah, those are always special when people just are invested in what you got going on instead of just being a body.
I think COVID had a lot to do that because everybody was trapped in the house, so there wasn't anything to do but to listen to music, really. And so when you start listening to more music like that, you can become more connected with it. And when you hear something, it's you're that much more into it because it's brand new and you're like actually excited about hearing new shit.
I'll be quick, I promise. I know you guys don't like me to talk. It was one of our last Maloney shows, and I don't remember if it was Until I Wake or the one after that because everything's a blur. It's awesome. I'm so happy to say that. You know, everything is a blur. This has been awesome. But we were really playing for the other bands. And that night in particular, there was some other people there, but that night in particular,
Iowa bands.
Yeah, I mean, we all were dancing,
like
having fun,
and everybody.
That's a good crowd to play for, you know, especially when I think my little sister, that was one of the first shows she got to see us play, and she said that the one thing she remembered about it was seeing her brother's band standing beside the other bands, just supporting one another. You know, as much as we like, you know, the extra bodies for support, shows like that show camaraderie, you know. Those, at least we remember that. I hope the other bands do. You know, but that's just something I wanted to touch on real quick.
Yeah, that special when you guys can share in that, because they all came from the same place we're at, you know.
Yeah.
You know, different could be right place, right time, or connections or whatever, but it does make it special. Like, I'll never forget, it was a nice show. It was, I think it was oh shoot, it might have been the Gideon show. I can't remember. Yeah, the sound guy who was running sound for the Fallen Dreams and Gideon, we did a cover of No Donnie, These Men Are Nihilists by Evergreen Terrace. And so this is from like the early For the Fallen Dreams era and stuff. So like this guy is really into that kind of music, and he's just taking a video of us rocking out on stage, and he's having a great time. And you know, it's like those are those guys kind of breaks. It was when their band's not playing, but they're tagging along on tour. So it made it really awesome to see him having such a great time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Look at that goofy looking son bitch right there.
Nerd.
Got my queen here, being cute as fuck.
All right.
Is that the one I made friends with the other day?
Yeah. Yeah. She's being,
Just guarding the home.
yeah, she's good at it.
Yeah.
She's
you
just a
don't
good old pupper.
Have her run up on you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're down to our last question here. What are you guys looking forward to most with this next show coming up September 8th at Reverb?
You guys bring a good energy. Like,
Yeah.
when we seen you at the Arena Air show, there was a fucking energy there that I haven't seen in a hot minute. And the shows we've played building up to this have really kind of, like, they've been great energy for the most part. So that's what I'm really excited about out of this. And you guys pull a crowd for sure. Like, there was a shitload of people that I seen there. Not only that I've never met before, but people I knew from back in the day, like 10 years ago, that caught me off guard. Tyler Barnes being one of them. He emceed your guys' show.
That's my homie right there. I love him. I've
known Tyler since high school.
Same. Him and I go way, and he's got so much dirt on me, but I got just as much on him. So,
where'd you go to high school?
I went to West Side.
Okay, I was gonna say, him and I were at Miller North together.
Yeah, he's best friends with Isaiah Becker from No Loss, No Regrets. And so him and I
used
went
to play with Isaiah.
Yeah, I love that guy. Him and I went to high school together, and then his best friend was Tyler. So we were always running in the same circles all the time.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I played with Isaiah in before it was No Loss, No Regrets. It was, I want to say in the after, but I could be wrong. It's been such a long time ago.
Yeah, he's just been nose to the grindstone with music as long as I've known him.
Yeah, he has. He's been heavily into it. He keeps that metalcore feel going for sure. Like that's his niche.
Yeah, definitely. Because I had taken like 10 years out of music. I still had my equipment. I started selling bits and pieces off for a while, and sure enough, an opportunity dropped in my lap. I went to a show with Isaiah, and it was like a local type of gig, and I hadn't been to a show like that in a long time, and I just left and I go, dude, I need this. Like, this is where I need to be, and this is what I've been missing. And he's like, okay, cool. I was like, you need to do everything you can to get me back into this. And he's like, sure, say no more. Guy. And then he forwards me Rob's information. He's like, he's been looking for a guitarist for a couple years, and has a project that's like early 2000s metalcore inspired that would be right up your alley. And he's a good dude, so hit him up, and then rest is history. Here we are, so I'm thankful to him for sure, in my journey as well. So he's a good dude. It's just as much about the people you meet. It's kind of cliche, but it really is the people you meet in those long lasting relationships outside of, your arc in this scene, if you for lack of a better term. So it's really special that we can have so many people care about each other and represent.
Yeah.
You know, Oakley and we met at Saul's about a decade ago.
Yeah. I had just gotten out of a band called Love Sick Death Wish, and I had some extra money and went up to buy a new guitar and met Mikey and our buddy D'Angelo. And
yeah, your guys' mics are crossing over, and it sounds like
I was wondering.
A shout out to D'Angelo too. Yeah. He's been great representing all these bands and these scenes, and he's always posting lives and videos and content. Yeah. And Viscerous I've been Viscerous shirts freaking everywhere. You know, so the love what comes around goes around. So
Dan's very good about that. He's actually the reason we got on the Drowning Pool show, because he was scoping Metro's page and seen that there was the show in Sioux City, and I took a chance and hit Aaron up and landed it, luckily enough.
Yeah. Well, you guys got any questions for us or anything?
I don't, but it was a pleasure doing this interview. It's been cool.
Favorite color.
Yeah, this is super fun. It's been great to get to meet everybody, and it's gonna, I think, ease the get to know you phase when we get there, you know, and bring an extra layer of intensity to the show, because everyone's been really, really cool. So that's it's a pleasure to get to play with you guys, and we appreciate all your kind words too. So thank you very much.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure.
Indeed.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna call this
skedaddle. Let you get on Sunday.
I'm gonna end up doing the traditional send off. Well, my dog's got a shit.
We love chatting with the guys in Double Down and can't wait to play the show with them September 8th at Reverb. Don't forget to check out Scapegoat and Rage Is My Rival as well. And don't be late, because we're going to have a great time. Thanks.